USC lands Luke Wafle the other day, and it was right here on the On3 Recruits channel. We haven't had this much excitement in a while when it comes to commitments. A lot of times, even though fans are always, hopeful, the RPMs start to go in. You never know. And even though Luke Wafle got those RPMs from Steve Wiltfong that morning, we still really didn't know. But this one went back and forth those last 48 hours. How were the Trojans able to win out?
Well, yeah, it started off with he and his family coming for the official visit that they had last weekend, and from there it came down to NIL, and it was reported that way, and ultimately USC figured out a 3-year deal that that Luke and his family and representatives were happy with, and I think that was it. It's been a few years of USC getting dunked on, as as I wrote with NIL, and I think that trend's kind of stopped with Jakeem Stewart, and we really didn't know where things were going to go with the class of 2026, but to put together the 30 commits that they currently have right now, NIL has played a huge vital part of that.
Yeah, and you kind of wrote an article. It was called "Embrace the Hate." First of all, what's the hate from? What's the hate from? What are we talking about here?
You know what, I honestly don't know, but it's just maybe it's politics in California. Maybe it's the Lakers, the Dodgers. No, people just typically hate winners. It's a different type of lifestyle out here in Southern California, especially. And I just remember during the Pete Carroll years when I would travel around the country, and Pete Carroll's like one of the most likable guys I've ever met. But people hated Pete Carroll, and I don't know what it's all about, but it's a real thing, and anybody denying it is kind of got their head in the sand.
So whenever USC's winning something, there's going to be some hate. Right now, I mean, they could win a little bit more on the football field, but they are beating ass, taking names on the recruiting trail. Is that where the hate's coming from?
I mean, right now it's coming. You're talking about high profile recruits that programs like Ohio State and in this case Penn State was involved as well. And you'll get guys that Alabama and Georgia and programs like that are not considering USC to be really a factor on getting these guys. And now they are. And now the next step is obviously, they're going to decommit sometime soon too, right? So there's all, and USC's paying, ridiculous sums of money, and people are upset about that. Um, and that's how you win big time football now. You
Yeah.
spend a lot of money. I mean, I don't know what people are so surprised about or so upset about. It's just this
That's
is
what
the
I don't get.
reality.
Yeah, it's the game is the game now. I mean, the game is NIL. The game is recruiting, and if you're not the best at the game, then you might as well just bow out now because that's what it is. I don't understand where the anger comes from because if you talk to any fan base individually and you call them poor, they're going to yell at you and preach to you for the next 10 minutes about how much money their program has.
Yeah.
Yet when it comes to spending money in NIL, everybody's shy or everybody doesn't want to admit that their team spends money. It's just kind of a weird deal. So that being said, we know USC is loading up on commitments. Who are the top remaining targets at this point?
Yeah, coming into this weekend, or at least last week, there really were only 5 guys that they were thinking that they could potentially get commits from in as we are ending spring and in the summertime. And now it's really down to just 3 guys. It's down to Brett Koloj, offensive lineman from IMG Academy. He's been a long time kind of friend of a few guys. Cannon Smith is committed to USC. He's from Colorado, and Breck is from Colorado, and Mark Bowman played youth football with these 2 guys in Colorado. He was actually their quarterback. So there's a close relationship with I guess the families, Bowman's family and Koloj's family, are exceptionally tight as well. So that might bode well for USC. And then the other 2 left are Jalen Lott and Booby Feaster. And the belief is USC is going to get one of those guys. There's a prediction that's been put in for Jalen Lott. That might have been a bit premature for us to do that, knowing what we know, but USC does feel good about him. And then Booby Feaster. So I do know that USC canceled a visit with Madden Williams, and they told him it's because they had a commit. So we'll stay tuned on who that's going to be.
All All right. Well, we'll see if USC can add any more commitments this week and add some more hate to this number one class. I guess that's what happens when you're number one. Scott Schrader with We Are SC. Thanks for taking a little time today on the Inside Scoop.
Thanks, Josh.